Hey everybody, my name is John and welcome to the market review video for today, 4th of June 2018. So over the weekend, the markets were performing very well, and over the weekend, it tends to be lower volume required to move the markets. However, with that being said, today we're back in a downward spiral, seeing some big losses across the market. And over the past few weeks, we've seen alts and Bitcoin, the altcoins following Bitcoin's lead. So when Bitcoin is going up, the altcoins tend to go up and slightly outperform. And when Bitcoin has been going down, the altcoins tend to be going down and underperforming. We've also seen some of the lowest standard deviation since about mid-April, but over the past couple of days, there has been a bit more movement. So today, the market cap is at 334 billion. It was approaching the 350 billion mark over the weekend. Volume is at 16.7 billion, and Bitcoin dominance is at 38.1%. We're seeing a lot of red in the market. Some of the biggest gainers include DigiDAO, Skycoin, and Huobi token, with some of the biggest losers being Veracitium, IOST, and Lisk. But with that being said, there are far more coins in the red than in the green. So let's go into some of the technicals and see what's going on here in the market. On the 4-hour time frame with Bitcoin, we are forming higher highs and higher lows. So this would be indicative of an uptrend, and volume is dropping off on today's drop, which could be bottoming out and getting ready for buyers to accumulate to go up and form a higher high. If we go out to the daily, however, it's not showing higher highs and higher lows. Potentially on the daily, what the high reached over the weekend would be a lower high. One key point to look at here is the 7,850 mark, because this is the 0.618 retracement between 10,000 and 6,600, which is a swing low and a swing high. Another coin to look at is Ethereum. So recently we've had EOS come out with its mainnet launched on Tuesday. It's up to members of the community to launch the network. But over the course of its year-long ICO, EOS has raised 4 billion USD worth of Ether. That is a huge amount and represents about 7% of the total Ethereum market cap. They have transferred a huge amount of it into Bitfinex, and one day last week they actually, within an hour, sold 180,000 worth of Ether at near market price. On this day, we did see a huge drop in the Ethereum market, and EOS has potentially moved more Ether into their Bitfinex account. So during this week, I would be keeping an eye out for further big drops if EOS does plan to dump more Ether onto the market. But for today anyway, Ethereum is pretty much following the lead of Bitcoin. As I said, when Bitcoin goes up, the altcoins tend to go up and outperform, but when Bitcoin's going down, altcoins are going down and underperforming. And Ethereum tells this story perfect. It's at minus 5% today, following the same pattern as Ethereum, but just dropping that bit extra. So another one to look at is EOS. EOS had some big green candles coming up to its mainnet launch. But now with the market turning around and it reaching a key point of around $15, EOS is starting to take a downturn. So it will be interesting to look with the overall market over the next few hours to see if Bitcoin is forming a higher low. Because if it is and buyers start to accumulate, we could be in for maybe a prolonged uptrend. Instead of covering the news today, I wanted to cover something which I feel is really important in the crypto world. This Medium article was posted today by Michael Spencer, and essentially what happened was Block.one database of investor emails was hacked. Obviously, Block.one, the company behind developing the EOS software, just after conducting the year-long $4 billion worth ICO, should have better security and should not let scammers access investors' email addresses or personal data. There was a lapse and scammers did get this details. But the important point here is the scammers reached out to the investors and they said, we haven't fully distributed all the EOS tokens, so there's more tokens left. So if you give us your private key, we will send you the EOS tokens and plus Ethereum or something like this. So there's two things you really need to drill in crypto. There is no free lunch. Nobody is going to give you free EOS tokens. Nobody is going to give you free Ethereum tokens. And the second thing is you never ever give away your private key. Your public key is for receiving, your private key is for sending. If you give someone away your private key, that is a sure way to lose your funds. So I thought I would cover this today instead of covering the news because I feel like it's an extremely important point and it's a point that a lot of people make mistakes on. Obviously, when you get into crypto first, a lot of the terms and a lot of the user interfaces are going to be unfamiliar, but it's important to realize that your private key is pretty much like your bank PIN code. If you give this away, you're vulnerable and somebody is just going to take your funds. So I'm going to finish up on that note today, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and tune in again tomorrow.